Hello, welcome back to Rolling Solo, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the Conan Kickstarter exclusive box. So for those of you that had a chance to actually pick this up, you are very lucky because there are some very cool exclusives that came in this box that are not in retail. And you can't find them in retail. You'd have to find them on eBay, Kijiji, or some other means. If you come from the previous video where we did an unboxing for the retail version, I want to help you understand that you are not missing out on the main game experience or any major components. However, there are some cool extra minis that you get in this game and some game boards or game board that's inside of this. So let's dig inside of it and see what you get. First off the top, artwork's different than the actual base game, so very, very cool. Looks pretty nice. So it's very, very colorful. Adrian Smith and George is there. Actually, just kind of mentioned at the bottom of the box. Did a really, really good job on that. So I'm gonna put this down here. All right, so what do you get with Kickstarter exclusives? Well, you always seem to get nowadays a dice bag. So the dice bag is pretty nice. It's a standard dice bag, nothing too fancy. It's got like a screen printed Conan logo on it, so that's pretty cool. What I did notice, or what I noticed right now anyway, is there is a lot of these. Now these are, from what I understand, and I don't understand much, we've got a whole bunch of different, it looks like Kickstarter exclusive heroes. So that's pretty cool. So the original game came with 4, and now you've got all these different ones, and it looks like Conan's actually in there twice. So you get different versions of Conan. You get like kind of like an archer. You get yourself like a swordsman, another kind of archer. You get yourself, wow, like the artwork's really, really good. Very, very cool. Another Conan, like very, very cool. So if you're lacking in the hero department and you want to change things up, it appears that they've gone ahead with the Kickstarter exclusive and packed enough extra options in the box that make this a worthwhile pickup, it seems. Or at least it was a worthwhile Kickstarter. Sorry, it's not really a worthwhile pickup, I guess, a worthwhile Kickstarter exclusive to get. So again, you got a whole bunch of other guys, and I'm assuming these guys are all heroes. I don't think because they're all on regular hero dashboards, but it looks like there's a ton of them. So you get some really cool different guys. Wow, very, very different. This Conan again, so like Conan the General, like just all kinds of stuff. So, oh, really cool wizard. So again, very, very cool. Lots more options, obviously, than the base game gave you for heroes. But again, just so you know, you buy the retail box, it's like you're really just getting expanded options. You're not, you know, in terms of gameplay components so far, I haven't seen anything mind-blowing. So what you do get here is obviously some new scenarios, and these scenarios are driven by the new maps that are in this box hidden somewhere. So that's kind of cool. They made some scenario specific, actually for each one, it seems they made 2 for, maybe what they did was they made 2 scenarios per each side of the board. So that's pretty nice of them. But there's also this one here, and I don't know if it's just in a different language or if it's actually a different scenario. That's a good question. This one looks like it is in a different language. Yeah, so it's just 2 different languages there. So this is the English language. So it looks like there's 2 scenarios for one side of the board and 2 scenarios for the opposite side of the board. You obviously get yourself, or I shouldn't say obviously, because I don't know if you get maps in games, but sometimes in collector's editions and or Kickstarter kind of exclusives, you get giant maps. So you get a map of the world itself. Just kind of a fun thing to see and to have. You don't really need it for gameplay, but it's just kind of cool as a nice to have. You obviously get yourself a whole bunch of cards. Oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of Kickstarter exclusive cards. So about 4 decks worth of extra cards. So you're getting yourself some, I think that's magic abilities. These might be in a different language, so you wouldn't open these. These are the English versions from what I understand of those. And then you get these 2, which are one is the English and one is another language. So essentially at the end of the day, for me, because I'm English, 2 packs of cards are what you're gaining out of that. So that's pretty cool. All right. You also get some extra dice, and dice in Conan is actually not a bad idea, getting not a bad thing in any game to get some extra dice so people don't have to fight over the dice that's there. You also get this gigantic, ugly looking monster. So this guy is going to sit on the board. He looks pretty cool, actually. He's massive. He's not nice looking at all. He is ugly. So he looks like somebody who kind of sits in the ocean, because he would sit on the board like so, and these things would stick out like this, kind of making him look like he is, yeah, like he kind of looks like he's in the water. So I mean, if you had a better map instead of this brown, it just kind of gives him that appearance that he's like underwater, underneath the board. That's pretty cool. I like that. Oh, look at that. I actually put these back into the box the correct way the first time. That's almost deserve an award for that. Okay, so that, I guess we'll leave these open now because we've covered both of those. Now we're going to go into another box. So this is similar to the main box, but not the same stuff. It's going to give you a whole bunch of other extra minis. And these are minis that don't come in the base game, so they're brand new enemies and stuff. So you got like, looks like you got a whole bunch of tentacles up there on the left. You got some guys with some axes and pikes and bows and hammers and stone hammers and all kinds of stuff. And then a whole bunch of course, skeletons with like different axes and swords in their hands and stuff like that. Very, very, very cool. These are the kind of miniatures that are actually really handy to have, just even to proxy for different games. Like, I look at this game and I actually think that sometimes there's some stuff in here that I could actually move over to Gloomhaven, and I might, to give me some extra miniatures. So then you got a whole bunch of other ones that come in the box. These are the heroes. So obviously anything light scaled instead of this dark gray. So the light over here is all these extra heroes you can probably be, from what I'm understanding. And the darker ones are all the enemies. So different types of enemies that you can run into. So those are pretty cool. Hopefully you guys can see those and I'm not blasting by it too quick. They're very, very, very cool. And what you might notice is a giant section over here that's completely blank. And you might think, what the heck, why did they bother with that? Well, actually I stole these for Gloomhaven for now, but essentially they come with a whole bunch of really cool furniture type pieces. So you get yourself like a pile of skulls, because a pile of skulls makes sense in Conan, right? Or you get yourself like what looks like to be a candlestick, right? So it's kind of like a, you know, it's got like a little torch on top. Might be hard for you to see it because the camera doesn't want to focus. Something a little bigger, like a bookshelf, fairly obvious, right? And then you get things like little tiny stools, little chairs for guys to sit on. So you can actually set up kind of like a little bit of some theme behind the game when you get it going in this Conan game. So you got yourself some crates. They give you a whole bunch of crates and a whole bunch of treasure chests. These plastic containers that I have, these in are mine. They didn't come into this box. I just put them in here for easy access for other games because I think they've come with some cool furniture exclusives that might be handy to use in different games. So you get yourself like a bench. And underneath these benches, which is kind of hard to get to easily, but I'll still do it for you guys because that's what this is all about. You know, like tables, like full-fledged tables that came with. So it's pretty cool actually. It's like to get all that kind of stuff that you can kind of just, and I can honestly use this with almost any game I have, so which is one of the reasons why I took it out of this Kickstarter box and put them into their own containers, because I think I'll be using them with Gloomhaven because they work for like a dungeon. So there you go. There's your box of miniatures that you get. So we're halfway through this humongous box of extra stuff. The next thing that you're going to see when you run through this is you're going to see more Punchboards. So the Punchboards are very similar to the very, very first one that we went through, except the enemies are different. And of course you got different versions of things. So you got 1, 2, and 3 different boards worth of stuff. Sorry for it being on its side. Hopefully you guys don't have to bend your necks all that much to see. So there's a quick glance at it. And a quick glance at this one. And the last one. Pretty cool, eh? Like, again, like good artwork. The tiles look cool, and these are really cool to have sliding in and out of that Overlord board. And then, of course, the one thing that probably is, in my opinion, the most valuable piece of this entire Kickstarter exclusive box is the actual extra map. And I believe it's just one. Yeah, it's just one double-sided map. So, again, like, you're not missing out on a whole bunch if you don't get this. But hey, like, an extra map is an extra map, so never a bad thing. This is kind of similar to the hut map that was in the retail version, but this seems to be more like in the trees, in the overgrowth of the forest, more of a stone fort made with some wood, or like wood and stone type fort, and stuff like that. I've never played any scenarios in this, but it looks really cool. It looks like there's different height levels, so you can be up on a higher portion of the board and jump down into the middle, and there's bridges that are going across. There's some obstacles of rocks that you can run across, so that's a pretty cool map. If you flip it over, there's a really cool side to this one, and that is a gigantic, looks to be, castle. So you got yourself like a full-fledged castle with a border trim that goes all the way around it. So you can see, actually I'll move these away so you can actually see. There you go. So you can see like there's a front entrance, you got your banners hanging, come in underneath the front door. You can run inside the buildings here, go up the stairs to the other level where there's other rooms, come down the stairs, go into this, and around there's a spike pit here, there's flags up, banners hanging from the side of the castle. It's really cool. So, I mean, again, like, one of the biggest things in this game that I like, without even playing it yet, when I open it up, was like, I look at this board and it pops for me. Like, I don't know how well it's popping on the camera, but I'm taking a quick look at the camera myself, and it really looks like those walls are really kind of protruding on an angle enough with that kind of 3D drawn look to give depth. And I think they did a really, really good job, and I believe it was Adrian who did this, an incredible job of making these boards look real without actually having to put 3D plastic all over it or building a legitimate wall out of plastic and stuff to make it feel like a castle. Like, it looks great, and I really think they killed it in terms of the art in this game. So what I'm really hoping is once I dive into the gameplay and the movement around, I think I'm going to like it, but I just hope that that is at the same level as this artistry that I'm seeing in the game, which is really sucking me in. And I'm a huge sucker for theme and for art in a game, because I really always have believed that people are visual, and I think if somebody sees a game that looks enticing, they have that much better of a chance to actually get engaged and enjoy it and fall into it, and their imagination kind of takes over. If the game looks bland, which this one does not, I feel like you kind of disconnect with the game, and then you are solely relying on the game mechanics to hopefully corral you into enjoying it. I really do think, and it's pretty standard, I think, mentality, that art is a really big factor, because as humans we really are visual people. So we see things and we instantly have a thought about it. So you guys might be looking at this from your own perspective on the video going, well, I don't like it. Like, the art doesn't do it for me. I don't like the board, and I don't like any of the boards that I've seen. Well, if that's the truth, then you know, at least you know that you're not enjoying what you're seeing, and you're likely not going to purchase this, but you might be looking at this going, wow, like, that actually does look like it really pops. And I think having this on the table would really make people walk by and say, what is that? What are you guys playing? That's kind of, I think, what they were going for, was that wow factor with this. So I give them a lot of credit for that. And again, it's Kickstarter exclusive, this stuff, but it's not probably near impossible to find it. There's probably people that are willing to give away their copies and sell them at a reasonable price. But regardless, that's the end. That's Conan. That is the Kickstarter exclusive box that came with it. Just so you guys know, there's a publisher or distributor, or at least the game's going through distribution channels at the moment. And I forget the name of the company off the top of my head, so maybe in the comments you guys can let me know, because I'm drawing a blank. But there is a company, I think it starts with an A, and they are currently releasing some of the Kickstarter expansion packs for Conan. And they've released, I think, 2 to 3 already. And I think the most recent one they released is kind of a winter-themed mountaintop range. So if you go online and you look up Conan expansion releases, I think they just announced this week or last week that they're going to be releasing another whole expansion that gives you another board. It has like a winter track, so it looks like you're running through the snow on a mountain and you're fighting there. So again, like, it looks like the creators of the game are not just pumping it out the door out of Kickstarter and then dropping the ball. They are actually going to go ahead and continue to support the game through retail. So if you guys are interested in picking up the retail copy, which was in the previous video that I did, and even if you're missing this content that I just showed you from the Kickstarter exclusive and you can't get it, or you just don't want it, or whatever the reason is, know that retail is going to have expansions for you to expand the game if you enjoy it. And that's a huge piece to know, because some games in Kickstarter are a one shot out the door, and if you miss it, well, you either got to go to retail and just buy it, a kind of a reduced version of it, without any support or any future expansions plans. But I can tell you that this Conan one does have expansions planned and already has released some of these to retail. So go check them out. Go take a look on Board Game Geek. You can search for it and you'll be able to see those expansions there. So that's essentially the Conan Kickstarter exclusive box. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, just to note, not a solo game out of the box. However, I believe people are going to find a way, and I may even be able to find a way to somehow automate the Overlord to move monsters around so I can be the heroes and have the enemies come after me. We'll see. Somebody's probably already working on it, or maybe already has a variant. If it's there, it's on BGG, so go check it out. And again, you'll see in the top left here that you can subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate all the people that are jumping on. I think we're actually taking off at a fairly good rate here, actually. And you guys are actually kind of being very, very good at giving me feedback on my gameplay and even any of my videos and stuff like that. And I am working to try to get this channel kind of in a movement to progress it and to hit certain games and certain niches that you guys will enjoy. And I hope I'm doing that. If you guys have suggestions on what you'd like to see more of, or things that you enjoy, things that you don't enjoy, let me know, because I'm always open to hearing your comments and and feedback, because again, this is for you guys. I'm not taping this for me because I could just do this behind closed doors. I just really want to show you guys some of this stuff. I get really excited about board games and solo gaming, and I think it's an interesting I think it's interesting to be able to have the communication between you and I. So I really hope you guys enjoy. And again, the option to subscribe is up there, so please do. And you can follow along and get updates on all the release videos as we go along. So until the next episode of Rolling Solo, thanks for watching. And until next time, keep rolling solo.